Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to session 6. Here there be dragons. Ooh, what does that mean?
Mom, could I hear?
All right, so this is an example of a map that was drawn back in the 15th and 16th centuries, possibly even the 17th century. So this means that it was drawn from the 1400s to the 1600s. When map makers wanted to show someplace that was dangerous, they would write the phrase, "Here be dragons." This shows dragons attacking boats and different kind of mythical creatures that one would encounter if you dared to leave the familiar shores of your homeland. And by homeland, right, you see Europe over here, we see Spain, and then we see Iceland up here, and then England would be up here. So it was kind of like a warning. The dragons and the sea monsters are symbolic. They represent anything that is unknown and dangerous. Here be dragons really means look out. There's trouble. So now we're going to think metaphorically. If you remember what a metaphor is a word that really means something else. And we don't use the words like or as. So if I said that your smile is bright sunshine, I'm describing your smile and saying that it's as bright as sunshine. So characters face different kinds of dragons. Some are literal dragons, like maybe an actual dragon or an actual physical problem. Others are metaphorical dragons that symbolize conflicts faced by those characters. You guys are all experienced readers of fantasy now, so you should be looking for these conflicts and considering whether some of them are becoming themes in your novels. Let's look at a familiar story. We all read The Paper Bag Princess. In this story, Elizabeth literally faces a dragon in the story. So when you think about the big problem in the story that she faces, it's that a dragon has smashed her castle and taken Prince Ronald away. Later, Elizabeth conquers the dragon and she rescues Prince Ronald. So the dragon is the physical dragon in the story. He is the physical problem. But what other dragons does she face? What other conflicts or troubles does she have besides the actual dragon? And we could kind of see one right here in this picture. So if we think about her other conflicts and problems, her other dragons, she's lost her home, she's lost all her clothing, and she's wearing a paper bag as a dress. She has lost her prince, and now she has to depend on herself. And then there's Ronald. Okay? Boys and girls, Elizabeth made it through the danger of surviving her castle being burnt down. She made it through burnt forests and fields of bones to find the cave where Ronald was kept as a prisoner, right? And once she finds him and defeats the dragon and rescues him, he is so rude to her. He says, "Elizabeth, you're a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you're dressed like a real princess." This is Elizabeth's real dragon. Ronald is her dragon. Ronald is the thing that Elizabeth must conquer. He's so cruel to her. He's demeaning. He humiliates her. If there were a map for this story, it would show Ronald as a dragon and say, "Here's trouble." So thinking about this conflict between Ronald and Elizabeth, it kind of lends itself to the theme. So when you think about Ronald being one of Elizabeth's problems or conflicts, you realize that the author is teaching you that it's important to make wise choices about relationships. And we know in the end she says, "Ronald, you're a loser," and she just kind of skips off into the sunset. So now I want you guys to start thinking metaphorically. I want you to think about the troubles that your characters are having that they have no control over. And we're going to practice this in a little bit with Thief of Always. Then I want you to think about troubles that might be inside the character too, like a character flaw. Then we think about how facing these dragons or their problems might be related to a theme in your story. Okay, so we're thinking about troubles, we're thinking about character flaws, which means there's something that's wrong on the inside with our main character, even though we might love our main character. And we're going to be thinking about the theme. So let's practice this with Harvey and the Thief of Always, right? What are the dragons that are facing Harvey? Now, there are actual monsters in this story, right? There's Karna, there's Jive, there's Rictus, who is some kind of a monster, but another dragon that's metaphorical, not a real physical thing, that is that Harvey knows that there's a dark side to the Holiday House. He knows that he and the others are prisoners Lulu's become one of the fish that's trapped in the lake, and even Mrs. Griffin is trapped there, even though she kind of seems to work there, right? Mr. Hood has servants like Karna, who will make sure Harvey doesn't leave, and Harvey finally returns home. It's 31 years after the time that he has disappeared. His parents are an old man and an old woman now, and everything has changed. Let's think about Harvey's inner dragons. What are his character flaws? Well, we know that Harvey's a little greedy and he enjoys the holiday house for almost a month, right? He's having the time of his life. He's enjoying all the Christmases and the Halloween tricks that he's playing on Wendell, and he is enjoying the summer days. He hasn't realized he's losing years of his life. His temptation for an adventurous and an exciting life kind of led him down a really dark path. How might these problems be related to a theme? The author's trying to teach you that things might be too good to be true. If something seems like paradise, there could be a consequence or something expected in return. Okay? Sometimes things are too good to be true. Think about it. Have you ever wanted to purchase something and you saw it for a really, really good price, right? And then you realize there must be something wrong with it, right? This price is too good. If you ever saw someone selling an iPhone for $100, there's definitely something wrong with it, right? That's just too good to be true. Now, here's your assignment for today.
Mama, can I
Hold on for a minute, baby.
press it when you need to?
Today, you're going to be doing a long write for me, and this long write is going to count as a quiz. First, I want you to make sure that you're caught up in your book club novels. I'm going to be posting on each individual book club novel, and I'm going to be making sure that everyone is where they're supposed to be. I know that my Witch Twins book club should be done with their novel for today, so you guys are done with your novel. On Friday, we'll start your second book club book, but you guys don't have any book club reading to do. If you're behind, you need to catch yourself up. I want you to investigate the topic of Here Be Dragons in your book club book. Create a write-long where you identify the dragons or problems facing your main character. I want you to consider external conflicts, which means conflicts that are on the outside of the character, and also think about, ooh, what happened? Ooh, I'll go back. And also think about inner character flaws. What is the author trying to teach you based on how the character faces his dragons? I want you to submit all of this as a write-long to the assignment in today's folder. It's actually a blue folder. If you don't know why I wrote yellow. This assignment is going to count as a quiz. So let me tell you again what you're going to be doing. You're going to be creating a write-long. You're going to be talking about the quote-unquote dragons that your character faces. These could be real dragons, right, or real monsters or real problems. They could be metaphorical problems, like how Harvey's main problem is that the house is evil. That's not a real thing, it's just a feeling, right? He has a feeling of evil around the house. And think about your character's inner flaws. Think about your character's inner flaws. One of the inner flaws of Wicked Nix, for example, if you're reading that book, is that he or she really hates the fact that this man is in the forest and really hates people being in the forest for some reason. That's an inner flaw. And then I want you to think about what the author's trying to teach you based on how the character faces his dragons or his problems. Okay, so you're going to start thinking about theme. Again, you're doing a write-long and you're going to submit it, and this is going to count as a quiz. This is going to be your first quiz grade for the marking period, even though the other assignments have been graded. Those were classwork grades. This is a quiz grade. It's going to be a pretty big deal. So try your best, and if you need any help, I'm on Schoology to help you.
No, can I try
Bye.
this?